Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to continue my run with the lizardmen so far, the ancient predators, and I'm starting to get a little bit terrified for even though one of my Saurii is out for a match, my team value is still above 1200 points. So once Goratzel gets recovered and is back in the fight, we're going to be easily over 1300. Even more so when you consider I'm just within reach of getting myself a team reroll, and never mind the possible fan factor I might get as well. This thing has now cost me 80 points for a very specific event, which may or may not even benefit me, depending on what my other what my opponent's fan factor levels are. So it terrifies me a little bit since I'm easily gonna be really damn close to 1400, especially if I get a level up in the next match. And I don't know how I should feel about that. I'm clearly going to be putting an extra skink on hold until I get my team a little more developed and I'm more comfortable and more confident with the potential of my team. But hell, with 4 blocks out of 5 for the next match, I am in good shape for my front line. Well, technically 6. I keep forgetting about Krosa, but again, Krosa is a bit of an awkward one, both in trying to level up, since Bonehead is likely to make that difficult at times, and the prehensile tail heavily encourages me to actually just keep him sitting there if I feel like my opponent's not going to be bold enough to try and push him back or at least knock him down, in which case I want to take full advantage of this. So that's going to be the biggest trick with Krosa, to figure out when I should be bashing, because obviously levels up are nice, especially with Mighty Blow, and when he should stand there and just be annoying. But even with him currently at no SPP, he's still doing work, without a doubt. It's just a matter of placement and position to the best of my ability. But with that said, let's continue on to what, my 9th match now total? Yeah, 9th. And it's still undefeated record so far, but that could change at a moment's notice. So let's see how we do. We are definitely going to get something different in Norse team. Norse are, from what I understand, a bit of one of the beginner type of teams. They are a fragile team at that, as you can clearly see. But almost every single one of them are equipped with block. They have a good handful, good god of injuries, or at least 2 injuries. And only 3 of the guys are leveled up so far. So in theory, maybe I'm in decent shape, and I don't know what to expect otherwise. What kind of game these guys are supposed to play. And I'm not going to buy anything since they're the one with the petty cash, which with the journeymen they barely get any petty cash. But they might still get a Bloodwiser babe. They have kind of the reserves to afford it. Since once you get to 150k in actual cash, this starts to inflate your team value. Oh, you're going to go get the chainsaw guy. Helmet's the chainsaw, isn't it? I need to double check and see. So, I don't know how I feel about this, since it's, as I said, it's a chainsaw player, a chainsaw goblin, so you know what he's intended for. But the consensus I know is that he's really meant to deal with squishy type of players, squishy type of teams. And in all honesty, lizardmen are not that, unless he gets at my skink, which, since I am down a Saurii, that could be a bit of a problem. So I may have to diversify my formation a tiny bit there, which, given the circumstances, since they have a player with that's technically an illegal weapon, I could justify that some. Yep, there's our chainsaw star player. I'll talk about what he's capable of in a moment. But main thing to note with what we've seen with the Death Roller and that, I'd never checked their player count. Since they do have a journeyman, they could replace them. I'm gonna do a silly thing, go defensive. Maybe give them more value that way. Oh, your Yeti has disturbing presence. Interesting. It's the big guy, it goes without saying. But I am curious about what kind of movement they have. 6 movement and 7 movement. Do I want to do it this way? This helps protect my skink some. Well, it's not entirely true, I guess, because... Alright, this works a little bit better. Protects my skinks from this guy here if he chooses to blitz. And otherwise, I don't know how I feel about this asymmetrical formation, since this is really my first time utilizing it, but the idea is to kind of tempt them to go down a certain direction, and then, ideally, swarm and overwhelm them to either touch down early, or to get them trapped on the corner of the map, or the field, so that way they can't really move at all. But that comes down heavily to my ability to free up my Saurii, and have them be able to intercept. Since these guys, while they have really crappy armor, they also, again, all have block, so they could be decent at tying me up. And once I do start getting those hits, they're going to injure themselves really fast. And this one guy here, as I said, he's got a legal weapon. So at the end of the drive, without a bribe, you are basically booted off. And there's a lot of risk with this chainsaw. Basically, +3 to any dice roll that try and get through my armor, and instead of doing a regular block, he can just swing with this chainsaw and go straight for said armor. However, if he rolls a 1, he has a chance of doing that kind of damage to himself. It's really dangerous against my skinks, because reducing my armor of 7 down to, 4, goes without saying, is likely to get through. But the Saurii are a little bit better. It's almost like I'm dealing with a claw to an extent, which is a lot more manageable. But we'll see if this formation I can use to its advantage. I will happily take a blitz, but sadly I can't get you. You are relatively safe. Now, I know where the chainsaw guy is. I could tie these guys up really well. Oh, I did it again there. I want to change that to armor breaks. There we go. And this could tie up the Yeti real well. A bit risky given him free blocks, but hey, this one would have still been able to block anyway. Well, sort of. And let's see, this is my last Saurii too, so I kind of want to protect you. A bit questionable, especially since I could have blitzed, stupid me. I forgot I had a blitz and never used it. I got a little bit too excited and I would love to blitz you. Not going to be possible, although, and your strength, sorry, I was going to say maybe I can dive in there with a skink. Not really going to be worth it. So that gives me 1 dice. Definitely questionable, but at the same time they get a blitz. I definitely would have loved the swords to kind of do this bash. It was my own oversight there. So I will take the consequences of that. And see if I can tie these guys up a little bit. Although I'm not really protecting my skinks anymore. Which is where a lack of experience is definitely showing. But it ties them up. They can't use the formation against me. And so they're going to be limited on their blocks. In fact, they might have a lot of red blocks if this Yeti doesn't do what's necessary. And you also have Claw. That's something to keep in mind that I did not consider. And Frenzy, no less. So I seriously should have had a skink here to kind of do the Frenzy trap, as they call it. Whereas the first Yeti, or the first attack, the Yeti attacks as normal, but then it moves forward, in which case I could have had a skink here to kind of weaken its attack power, essentially. Which actually would have been pretty good if I took advantage of that fact. No, you're not going to chainsaw. I'm okay with that. Since thankfully I did not get punished heavily. Oh, you have Frenzy. But there's a slight effect of the Frenzy trap in effect. If it wasn't a skink there, that would have easily been 2 red dice for me. But I can bash you. I have a potential to bash you at least. And you also have Leap, which is a unique ability that if they get knocked down, it basically removes the penalty they get for getting back up. And they can technically still bash me, but they would have to make a roll. Okay. Ooh, and you're Dauntless. Oh, you're level 2, that's why. Burnt to reroll, that's a decent start. Now let's see, these hopefully should not be very good rolls for him if they want to take advantage of this. So this is hopefully what I have going for me. With this blitz that I at least can be happy I denied the frontline attacks the best. The 3 free blocks are all but pointless unless they get really lucky on the Yeti, because they could still technically bash this source. Okay, not true anymore, alas, because you still did get the 2 dice block. And that thankfully did ended the turn prematurely. Yeah. Maybe didn't think that out the best, but at the same time you frenzied, so that probably is part of the reason why. Now, you get up without a doubt. I do get a free potential bash here. I'm just wondering, there's no way I can get in there, because this guy on the ground is actually in the way. Oddly enough. You get 2 dice. Wow, Crosa, I definitely want to take a bash with you later. Sadly a push, but it gets someone on their runner. Start putting pressure on that. You only get... Yeah, wow, red dice. Oh, that's because of the lack of support. Oh. And that's 1 dice now, silly me. But I can negate you still with a skink. I'm just, of course, leaving myself at open due to a said skink. Now, how do I best want to bash you? Well, I'm taking too much time to think, so... And you get 2 red dice, so let's go with the safe bashes so far. And I just gotta remember I have a blitz, which I could take advantage of. Actually, I kind of want to bash you. I really do want to bash you, which it would be worth it to get you out. Just gotta keep in mind, this is always risky. Now, who am I king? I can knock you down and maybe move with my other skink. Sadly, not meant to be. Because now I can no longer blitz because of that. Unless Crosa could get the knockdown here. Another push, that's unfortunate. But you're still tying up 2 people. One of which is a frenzier. Huh, interesting. 1 dice. Oh, you're strength 4, that's why. Okay, I see what you're putting down. Get more people on the ball carrier. Try to anyway. Especially with that knockdown. I'll take it. And we'll see if we can knock down this one berserker. Which we do. And since they have leap up, I'm not going to follow up. Since I don't want to give you free blocks. Even though you are really damn squishy. Now, I am worried about the chainsaw, without a doubt, but... we're almost out of moves, let's keep that in mind. I don't know if I like this formation very much, but risk on the ball carrier. Although they do have dodge, so let's not get too excited. And you do have dauntless. And if you're going to be doing anything with this chainsaw, you would have to blitz. Alright, stun. And that was due to the mighty blow. Ooh. Okay, just a push though. I keep forgetting about Frenzy. This is my first real time having to deal with multiple Frenzies. Since normally, it's just a Minotaur big guy that I had to be mindful of. Sadly, that does free the ball carrier. And thankfully no armor break there. And you don't have Dauntless, but you do get 2 dice block now. And that was on the friends. Okay, you just pushed. Now I'm gonna have to protect, or actually get Crosa to bash if I want him to keep him safe. Which should be possible. I just gotta Stop getting so many pushes. And I have Saurii to kind of... Let's see, well, you could always tie up my Saurii if you're willing to deal with this chainsaw guy. Oh, you're gonna try and foul. I forgot you also get the benefit off that with the chainsaw. Let's see what happens here. Up you do. Up, kick back. I got lucky there, but again, you were dealing with something that had heavy armor as well. You're just lucky it was only a stun. Since, like I said, the chainsaw also affects our goblin friend, so he was likely to knock himself out as well. Although he did roll snake eyes. Actually, you only get one dice there, and I can't get any assists. I could move you there. Actually, let's just move our safer skinks for now. Sidestep and all that good stuff. Although that may have been a mistake, since that's a go for it now. I did not plan that out the best. I rushed it rather, is what I'm trying to say. But I can bash you relatively well. You can get up. And with a stun goblin, you're safe for next turn. And unless you bash me back, you're going to get surfed next turn. Unless I leave myself open for an ally to blitz. There's no point getting up with the skink. I don't get the assists I wanted. So that was definitely a mistake there. This might still cost me. There, nice stun there. I'll happily take it. And that protects Krosa, potentially, from getting surfed out next turn. Do I have any other moves before? I can get some assist, but with these strength 4, it's actually a little bit inconvenient. And I need to protect my opening some. Since I did burnt the blitz to protect my Kroxagor and not so much get on the ball carrier. So I need to be mindful of that fact. Otherwise, you only get one dice there. Oh, you don't even have block, so I gotta keep that in mind. That could be a liability to go with you. Good, their Yeti is hit. Lower armor than mine, so a respectable chance of stun. Ooh, even better. Congratulations, Krosa, on your SPP. That is a big deal. And Miss Nick's game is gonna hurt like hell. But is that me, or I'm trying to figure out if that's... Oh, we both have apothecaries. They were just contemplating, I guess. If they should have committed to that or not, I guess. So that gave me a big momentum swing, despite how rough that may have been. Yeah, I might as well go with the 2 dice block here. Although, if I push you, you do have leap up. I gotta keep that in mind, damn it. I just realized that they had leap after I made that move, so you can freely bash the skink. Hell, me. Yeah, you would have had 2 dice no matter what I did, so that was the right choice. Just keep him there, maybe tie up this one guy. Although I don't have a skink to kind of trap you into 2 red dice. That thankfully paid off well, but there's the value of a leap right there that I was kind of referring to being afraid of. Oh, and you have Frenzy. Which thankfully, I dodged a bit of a bullet there. That was likely to knock me down. Oh, I should... Nah, there's a mistake that I made there. My skink could have actually sidestepped into this. Because now, you still have 2 red dice. So it's not too... It's still risky for them, but I could heavily mitigate that. Since I was talking about making sure my source was not... Or at least their one lineman here didn't get support. Pushing both down. Okay, gonna run there. Skinks can intercept, because they're really making a gamble for us with no one else. Well, I take that back. They have these linemen here. But these skinks can do well. This is not going to be a proper cage, and I can intercept them amazingly. So, they may have been a little bit rushed, and Krosa is your worst nightmare as far as dodging. You do have a reroll, though. Are you going to attempt it? Are you going to dare it? Please do. Ooh, Krosa's streak with that tail's amazing so far. I am loving it. Even though technically that was still a natural one, so it made no difference, but still. I'm gonna brag about Krosa's performance. Especially this match. So I don't have block, that's the scariest thing. But I can easily intercept. And deal with that to an extent. And I'd love to just push you. And I do have 2 rerolls, let's keep that in mind. So let's take advantage of this and see if we can get an injury. Alright, just stunned, so you got lucky there. A little bit anyway, since it's really, what, 50% chance of just getting a stun effect. Now, I do still have the reroll, so it is worth doing a go for it, but... Actually, I'm okay. Unless I can blitz, which is not possible, because it would require go for it. So I'm okay blitzing you, with that said, and just getting the hell in your way, which sadly is not the result I would have liked. But I have a bunch of skinks to roam free. Let's just move our other skinks first, maybe. Only problem with that is go for it. Now, I would like to double up. I have enough skinks for it. That was probably a mistake. I didn't really need to go that spread out. Since if you blitz, that is trouble for me. And I like this potential here, but it is double go for it. Let's decide quickly. We have 20 seconds after all. So we'll force this to do a blitz of some kind, which will restrict your options quite heavily. And I do have 2 go for it, which actually may have been still a mistake. Since they can still go wide right after all, who am I kidding? Oh, and damn it, I thought that was not in a tackle zone. Silly me. Silly me. You can see the time. I'm rushing it a little bit here. Because you have 7 movement. So you could very easily make it. Alas. Who am I kidding? This may not have been a very smart move. But you do have sidestep, so if this blitz fails, I can just sidestep into a more awkward position. Which thankfully works out well. Oh yeah, you frenzy too. And that does pow me down. So you do have the movement to easily get in there and try and touch down. Are you going to try for it, though, is the question. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it would be a go for it at least. Not the biggest deal in the world with 2 rerolls. Which is why these skinks should have been one more space over on the right to help in that matter. It would have been a double go for it for that reason. But you're going for the fast touchdown, so that gives me plenty of time to kind of punish you now, especially with your lack of Yeti. Since I don't think any of my guys are knocked out. At least the Saurii, at least. He's really showing off, isn't he? So you're injured. Alas, they get up. But yeah, and your chainsaw's also out. That's something I did not think much of, even though, technically, they didn't really get a whole lot of value out of them. They tried for a single foul, which thankfully, I got a little bit lucky on. And I have 5 turns to get a touchdown, which, let's not squander this opportunity. How to best do this? Well, I have Kungwa kind of as my main passer to look for a really swift, or at least touchdown on the final turn. Got a lot of Saurii here. And all of them with block. So I kind of want to switch this up a little bit. What am I afraid of most? Well, actually, I want Kungwa more on the front there. Or at least in a position where he can threaten the touchdown. Really effectively, at least. Just gotta be mindful of a blitz or something like that. Could be a problem. I have faith in my bashing ability, especially with their big guy out of the way. Damn. I thought I was the one with the fan factor. With all my fan factor, that could have been prevented, you would think. But no, it wasn't meant to be in this case. Oh well, I don't get my consecutive pushes like I would want. But I can push it the other way at least. Krosa's not going to have so much fun just yet. But I'll happily take some stuns. And I am really damn tempted to have a Saurii pick up the ball. It's the question if I can get away with it. Since I only have 1 re-roll left. Which may be incredibly risky. If I were to be serious. I can bash with you. We're getting a lot of knockdowns. This one's a loner though, so not all that exciting. In all honesty. And you do not have block. You're a scary one to go for. I do want to pick up with a Saurii, but it might be way too risky. If I were to be honest. Since we are looking at like 5 pluses and the reroll can be valuable for later. If I'm willing to burn the reroll, that is. It's possible I may not even consider doing that. There's 3 consecutive knockdowns there at least, so I'm good about those results. And another stun. I could have the skinks nearby to maybe pick it up at least, so that helps some. I'm gonna try and pick it up with the Saurus. I don't think it's the best decision, but I'm gonna try nonetheless. Maybe I'll get lucky there. Now, do I attempt the reroll? Yeah, I'll try it. I did get the pickup at least. So that helps in that regard quite well, but Bonehead could still trigger. I may have been rushing this a tiny bit that last portion. So we'll leave that there for now. We got a nice little line, nice little wall. Probably not the best type of cage. I could have kept my ball carrier back. But with a block Saurii with the ball, it's going to be tricky to take that down, at least. Krosa, unfortunately, is not going to have the best of support here. Since I don't have a skink up there to kind of deny assists. So you get the 2 dice block, bash, without a doubt. Ooh, that worked out well. Because the frenzy would have forced you forward in our space if it was just a push. Now, the one thing I like about this is I can force them to in a very awkward predicament. How's their movement though? 6 movement, so I don't have a reroll, so the problem is Kungo is in a bad spot for a handoff. Only thing I don't like about this, because I could hand off easily and that would not be a problem, would it? Bad time for a bonehead though. And these guys are all down, so I can easily get a cage of sorts. I'm just going to need a 2 dice block on this one berserker. Or whatever you call him. Hell, I could blitz with one of my blockers, but that might be better served with these guys up here. And I don't have a reroll, let's keep that in mind too. That might cost me a bit if I'm not careful. Now this could backfire once the handoff fails, since again, 1 in 3 versus 1 in 9 with the reroll. And I have 40 seconds, so let's make this count, or at least attempt to. Not quite gonna get the cage. Damn it, I thought that would have been 2 dice. Oh yeah, I miss. It's strength 4, stupid me. Not my proudest moment here. I am messing this up horribly. Because now he's gonna get bashed really heavily. Otherwise... yeah, that was the mistake, not having a second row or at least having my runner back. That would have helped a ton. And they do knock down the ball carrier. Now this is just going to get silly, is it now? Okay, dodge. You do have frenzy though, which is actually a little bit problematic, since they're getting a lot of dice to kind of knock down my skinks. Now I'm just trying to think how I want to do this. Since having the Saurii pick up the ball definitely cost me there as opposed to a skink, which could have got a decent chance on dodging out. Even in that kind of predicament I put myself in. So 2 pushes there. Saurii are a little bit pincered now with my attempt to try and do the passing type play. But Krosa is close enough to kind of be a threat here. Just don't bonehead again. There. That helps a little bit there. We'll have some Saurii up in a moment. And you can blitz. And I guess I'm not gonna make that cursed mistake again. I planned that wrong because I was caught completely off guard by their strength 4. Now, gonna have to be mindful. I'm gonna need to pick up this ball. But I have a lot of block. Saurii can easily go around. I just need to clear it up. Make an opening. Maybe I should have pushed them to the right there since I'm kind of forced to push you the same direction. Ooh, 3 dice. I missed out on my 2 dice block here, but a Saurii can all easily go there. And it paid off. Now, how do I want to go about this, since I am going to start tying them up, and I can't have... Well, actually, I could just dodge out of you relatively well. Where do I want my skink to go, with that said? Actually, I want you tying up these guys as well. That's going to definitely help. See about getting to do that. And I'll have you here. See if we can dodge what we can. Because I put myself in this mess, I'm going to damn well try and correct that. And this will be a little ridiculous. But that's what stunty and dodge is for. And do I dare? Because they can easily deny me. To an extent. But let's try this. At least a Croxagore is on the dang ball, so that's going to make it awkward. And you don't have leap up. Only this one Berserker does, who's currently tied up. And you, who I kind of pushed away. Because I was not oblivious to that, so at least I'm happy in that regard. You do get the POW, but it was also a fresh blood. No SPP. So anything too serious is not a huge issue yet. Now the big question, how many of them will be on the ball? Since they have an easy line to go here and try and make it complicated. Okay, Blitz there. Only a push. Crosa's still by the ball, so, well, it frees up this one runner at least. Oh yeah, forgot about dang Frenzy again. Thankfully, still someone's on the ball, 2 tackle zones. Oh yeah, and that runner doesn't even have sure hands, so not the best chance for picking up the ball. Yes? Oh, you burnt your last reroll. And they only have 1 turn left, so it's not like I can easily take advantage of that. No, they're getting ballsy. I would have loved if Karnox picked that up somehow. Technically, Karnox still could. I just don't have a reroll. So, I have all sorts of things in a Blitz, and all that, and block. Which the runner also has block. So I could free my skink free. I could. Well, which Saurii is going to blitz is the question. Okay, good start there with the POW. Ooh, more stuns and injuries will be welcome. Knockouts, maybe not so much, but we'll see what happens after this drive. And Kungwa, you are out in the middle of nowhere. And you could reach on a go for it. So this could backfire. I'm a little bit terrified of this. So I want to do the blocks first. Which doesn't quite give me the opening I want, does it? It does barely. In this little crevice here. I just don't think I have the movement for what I want, though. And we both have blocks, so much for clearing out everyone. So we'll have to go for plan B. Which will be relying on the 1 in 9 chance. Which means Krosa doesn't do their block yet. Because you are most likely to screw me over there, Karnox. And you have leap up. That was a mistake. Well, that's not true. I can use a skink for that. To tie you up. Well, that was convenient, sort of. Not entirely true. Since it comes down to whether Kungwa does not get knocked down. Since I never bothered to move my Earth Skinks to kind of prepare for that possibility. But everyone's all tied up, sort of. This one's free to do a blitz. Everyone else kind of needs to dodge. Well, actually, that's not true. This one Berserker can also blitz, and you're the scary one, too. With your Frenzy and Mighty Blow. Oh, this one can also blitz. Who, my king? So that's the plan. With Sidestep, that could help a little. But Double Pow, not happening this time. I would have loved that to be a push, because then, even if I was knocked down, that would move me 2 spaces over. It would still be a double go for it, but now I don't think I'm close enough. Yeah, I would need at least that to just be a push or a stagger. That's not entirely true just yet. And that was just a stun. I'm okay with that. I'm seeing a possible window here for me. I don't know how likely it would be work. No side steps though. And thankfully you dodged. That helps me a little bit, if only a little bit, since I would still need to dodge anyway. Yes, come closer. I was hoping he'd stand there. There. Ooh, that... Okay, that helps a little. Because that frees up a tackle zone. Because I have an idea. I don't know how to best do it, but I have a goddamn idea. That's a go for it there. That's a lot of dodges, so that's not worth it. Because if I knock you down, that frees up what tackle zones. Well, not enough is the answer. I'm trying to think how to best do this. Because if I push you, that gets rid of some of the strength advantage I have. Yeah, that was just a push. So that probably didn't help as I was thinking. Because now it's a double go for it because of that. I'm just making it worse on myself. Because of that one block. Because my plan is to push Kungwa over. I'm just not going to get here without a double go for it. Time for the gamble. I think it's still a lot of dice rolls, but this would be a great way to end it off. I wish I had a reroll now, though. God damn it. I at least can be happy for the attempt, though. I could be very happy with the attempt. I just didn't have the reroll because I burnt it on a Saurii. That was probably a terrible idea. But at the end of the day, I did it to myself. But I at least denied them a touchdown. It's just a question of if I can get 2 touchdowns on the second half. Since they have 2 out. Your guys are getting up, dang it. I don't like that one bit. Since you spent all your petty cash. Oh, I only have a single skink out, so not a huge loss. But if their guys keep getting up, it doesn't help me any. Since I didn't injure anyone in that half. Is the moral of that story there. But I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson and don't let the Saurii grab the ball, I guess. I'm going to have to learn a little bit more about using Lizardmen, because that is a great way to level them up, but still, of course, risky as we've seen. But we'll try this again. We got a lot of blocks. And this could still... I could potentially get a touchdown quickly. Especially with a quick snap forward. How do I best want to do this? Because that was probably a bit questionable with Krosa not being able to get the bash he wants. I could free a Saurii doing this, but the idea is to just try and bash as much as I can. I don't know what I'm doing in all honesty, since that's a bit of the problem. How to get the most out of these abilities in events. But we are in a good position to just bash them forward some. Now let's start bashing. Try again on these knockdowns. There, injury's a good start. 1 point armor value, so that makes your guy even more fragile than before, but you're apparently going to go with it. Double pow, I like it. Krosa, how to best get you moving? Because you can move up here and tie them up. Try to, anyway. And I would like my Saurii to try and help a little bit. Get a little more momentum of freedom. So that is... bonehead, go figure. Good thing I didn't try and block with you there. But I still have a blitz of some kind. It requires a go for it, though. Which I may regret. Since I put you too far forward then, or too far back. It may have been my mistake. Since these guys do have the mobility to kind of punish this type of formation after all. So it doesn't do me a lot of favors there. Technically. And we'll try and tighten this noose a little bit. Since the ball's relatively protected for now, I just need a good roll to pick this up. It's a shame that wasn't in the last half, huh? That would have been really nice for me. But right now, all my Saurii are in a tight clump, so they're easily kind of snared if I'm not careful. So I need to keep that in mind, despite the 2 stuns, well, an injury and a stun in all honesty, which is still a pretty good bashing turn, but is it enough? Does it help me with getting the touchdown quickly to maybe follow up with a second one? Probably not. And maybe I just keep you down. Oh, never mind, you're knocked out. So now I can easily move my skink up. Kungwa can put themselves in a position for later, and I gotta keep I only have 2 skinks at the moment. So they are prime real estate right now. If I'm not careful. And how many Saurii are free at the moment? All of them are. Even Krosa, but Krosa needs to be cooperative for that to matter. And going along the edge is scary just because of Frenzy and the surfing potential they have. But you have the mobility to just go around and bash this one guy. So it's not terrible. You would just need support. This is a problem there. And again, the problem comes down to actually envisioning the cage, what it might look like. So I can put my ball carrier properly, but there's only one way I can learn, and I guess that's by doing. So we're gonna have to start doing. And you do not have block, so I gotta keep that in mind. I was gonna maybe blitz you, but that's out of the window now. But I do get the knockdown, at least. So I can blitz you over, secure this path some. And how much movement do you have? Just no more. At least if I want to use you properly. Now, Krosa, will you cooperate here is the question of the day. Okay, that's good to note. I'm probably going to be tempted to do the go for it here, to just protect this area for my runner. And then Kungwa, how can you be of service here? There we go. We got some momentum here. This is a little more secure, if only slightly. Because they're still going to get a bunch of good blocks on these two here. At least only one bash without a blitz. Which is why maybe I should have followed up with Mastakuet. Come to think of it. Or at least done the go for it attempt. Again, kind of hard time envisioning what this cage would even look like to cover all my bases. Since this is the vulnerable spot right now. Okay, you got the knockdown there to stagger. And who can blitz? Just this one guy here, which is technically unsupported. Unless you dare to blitz Krosa. Now the big question, do I brute force my way through this or not? Because they do have the mobility to kind of follow me through. So it's not all that helpful to try and do this. But Kungwa can serve as a bit of bait. So 1 dice blocks there. Krosa can tie these up really damn well, which I'm inclined to do. Okay, you're cooperating. And you're gonna have the support you need for this too there, buddy. That's the hope. And I keep forgetting your dang strength 4 guy, which is a bit annoying. Okay, both down. You don't have leap up, which is what I was wondering. Or second guessing on a little bit. And I do need to protect my runner some. Because you are going to get a blitz of some kind if I'm not careful. And sadly, you are the one that does not have block, which terrifies me to try and do a block. Because any kind of block gives you more freedom, which I'm not inclined to do right now. But I am tying up 4 of them, unless they want to infest more to try and break this. Because I don't... Okay, you still get the 2 dice. Ooh, reroll that, please. Oh, you get to push the source. I did not really think about that. Damn it. Oh, he's thinking if he wants to push or not. That's probably what's going on. No, you went for a knockdown. You can try and knock him down, but... Ooh, Dauntless. Block and a push, which sadly does not push me off the surf, I'm sorry to say. And if these dice somehow go well in this area, I could open up a window to just push right through the middle. Could. It's going to take up a lot of my guys, and my Saurii are a bit tied up as well. Are you going to dare any of this? They sadly get the push out, which then starts the bit of a snowball effect, if only a little bit. Since you get 1 dice here, 2 red dice here. So not as terrible as it could have been, but it frees up all their guys with that attempt. Especially with a reroll burn, keep that in mind too. And you are still on the field to maybe start pushing. Because again, they free up my guys, so maybe there's something I can do about this. Because I could potentially go over on the left really aggressively. I could. Kungwa's in a bad spot though. That's the only problem. I would have loved to hand off to him and take advantage of that. And I do... This is relatively safe for me to do, since I have block. And a reroll, no less. I just wish it was a push. Because I could easily go somewhere over here. That separates my players, though. And not really a cage. You cannot get any dice block. See if I can follow up with more pushes of some kind, get my guys on their ass. That way I can maybe brute force my way through this some. That might be my strategy. Might be. I don't like this too much because it's weakening my cage some. With that said. Especially since that didn't really give me much room to breathe. Now I'm just wondering how to best move these skinks, if at all. Because Kroos is in a bit of an awkward spot. Hey there, kitty. Nice of you to join the party. You're secretly rooting for me to lose, aren't you? Admit it. I know you. Oh, Dauntless. I keep forgetting about Dauntless, especially on a runner, no less. It's not something you would think of for a runner. But it could actually pay off for him here. Nope, failed, but are you rerolling? Now that opens up a big window if they get a bad dice roll coming up here. Sadly, that frees up all these guys in a blitz, no less. They can immediately blitz our skinky friend here. Which they're not going to... Well, not blitz, but they can get someone else on there. Now, the big question, can these Saurii be left standing still? The more free blocks, the more this helps. If I can keep base to base with them. You burnt your reroll, buddy. Now, there's a nice window here. A really damn nice window to go around. And Krosa is cooperating. That helps a ton there. Now, how to best... Because I can also hand off the Kungwa for a little bit extra mobility, but that's not really worth it with these two here. I think what I want to do is just blitz these guys. Try and get around. I don't want to push Krosa into them because they're very easily gonna... Well, who am I kidding? And then try and get a bit of a cage going on here. I did not think this through the best because my dang source is still tied up by this one Norse. Which might be worth trying still. And I do have 2 rerolls, and they cannot get close. Is there any more blocks I want to do in the meantime? Just 1 dice blocks, because you have strength that I keep neglecting. And I have blocks, so this is still worth it, but 1 in 6 versus a 1 in 9. That did burn the dodge, but in theory, they can't chase me. In theory. One more. And I can push you into this mess. Now, who am I most afraid of? Our runner friend, maybe. And actually, that frees up... Well, that was just a push. Never mind. I was thinking that was a POW. I could still technically do what I have in mind. And you both have block. Do I care pushing? Yeah, I do. A bit of a weird series of pushes, I won't lie. But Krosa ties up the most people possible there. which hopefully pays off. Now, is that possible for a touchdown next turn? Looks like it. And you have Frenzy. I gotta keep that in mind. I may have sacrificed one of my Saurii to being pushed off the edge. But it is only a single dice. Oh, they actually get 2 dice. Never mind. Only a stun, though. I am okay with that. So I'm comfortable in my position here. I just can't... If I want to get a win, though, I kind of need to touch down next turn and try for a really aggressive blitz into their half. Okay, 2 pushes. Okay, I was completely wrong. You do free him, but you have to go all the way around unless you want to do tackle zones. So having Kungwa here helps. Since you can't really push anyone else anymore. Because that's... Yeah, you're actually the slowest one there. Ooh, you can do a double go for it. Now the big question, are you going to go... Oh, you can't blitz, but... You would need to type everyone else. I would love somehow for you to burn that final reroll. You probably are willing to do a double red dice since we've seen that before. Only a push though. It's still standing, but you're going to push him away. Oh, Frenzy. You know what I'm hovering over? You know what I'm hovering over? I get to choose the dice. Screw you, buddy. Now I get a free blitz here, which I'm going to do because it's safer than trying to blitz through here. Let's just make sure this works in my advantage. And I still have 2 rerolls, so I can be greedy as I can be. But I don't think I'd attempt to block with Krosa. But I really need to do this touchdown so I can at least attempt to do... Yeah, the idea is to attempt to go for a second touchdown before the end of the game. But I only got like 1 additional injury in this entire thing, is a bit of the problem. So I think I am going to try a block of some kind, at least with my blockers. Try and get another injury or a knockout. Which I'm not getting, since this is as close to 50-50 as you can get in all honesty with the armor they currently have. At least we got a tie game. Let me not screw this up again. It's the big story. I did to myself in the first half, having my Saurii try to pick up the ball, burning the reroll, and not to mention the fact that I got it too close to the front line. So having that reroll with that alone probably would have made the difference, because that was I am definitely still happy with how that last turn played out, even if it wasn't meant to be. I don't know if you were there to see that there, kitty, but it was a good time. And I still have 2 skinks knocked out, so this is going to be a bit of a problem. Because I can't do the temple guard. There's too many holes in my defenses. And I need to get super aggressive anyway. Is a bit of the problem. They burnt all the rerolls, so maybe I can get aggressive on this placement. That might be my thought process. tie up as many of them as I can, and if they don't want to commit to such an aggressive play, then I can clear an opening to get right into their front line, maybe. Especially if I somehow get to blitz. That would be kind of nice there. I don't know how exactly I want to do this formation, because they do have a bunch of strength 4 guys too that are easy to support. This is definitely a fragile formation. I want to get in there very aggressively though. And try for that ball, especially with 2 rerolls versus their none. I guess all this coughing probably means I have a dry throat. I should probably drink something finally. Since I was kind of prepared for that and everything. Now it comes down to what the kickoff is. We could even get an extra turn, which could be a bad thing. I get an extra reroll, which basically means I should get risky. I should get greedy. Sadly, they do get the immediate knockdown there. But if I can dive in there super aggressively, that helps. It's going to be tricky to do, because my opponent's looking for a fast touchdown, it looks like. So this is going to be a silly from 3 turns. The only sucky thing with dodge is I can't use my reroll for it, since dodge technically is my reroll. And you have no rerolls, fail it. There's an opportunity for me because you did not goddamn bash. Now I need an opening. I can get my Saurii in there. I said I need to get aggressive, I'm damn well gonna do it. Krosa needs to do a bash first. Don't fail me, Krosa! You are MVP with how you've been performing so far. 4 SPP to boot, too. Congratulations. Remember, 3 rerolls, I should, by all means, get a goddamn aggressive, even though I can only burn 1 a turn. I would like to get on the ball in all honesty. And I sadly can't quite do that, but again, I have rerolls. Now I need my skinks to kind of get in position here. Which they can't quite do, try as I might. Since I just don't have enough mobility. Actually, I could fix that, sort of. If I can knock you down. Which I get. I should have followed up there a tiny bit, but I could easily tie you up still. I would like to get on the ball, but it does not seem possible. Not in the way I would like, at least. And I am getting a little risky. But again, I should try and get risky in all seriousness. Although, maybe I should not have Oh! That was convenient because dodge was burnt on the first attempt and not the second dodge. So, we'll see how this works for me. Because I have one turn left, actually. I didn't realize how close this was going to be. And if anything, you're likely going to blitz with your runner. I would imagine, anyway. Okay, blitz with the skink. Blitz the skink, huh? I would love to see double skulls, although that's very unlikely. But the skink's still standing. Sadly not a sidestep skink. You could attempt a dodge, but no reroll. Will suck. I like to gloat, but I'm getting really lucky, I think, due to my own mess-ups. Now, I could still screw it up, let's not kid ourselves. And I would like you to get a level up as well, but do you have enough movement for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? No, let's not even attempt it. Kangwa, do us the honors, please. Oh god. I don't deserve this win. I'll be honest. Although, again, I should not gloat because I keep forgetting they still have one turn left. But oh god, look at these injuries we're getting. They are in armor 7 for crying out loud. It is to be expected, but I don't think it's possible for him to get a one-turn touchdown, is it? I don't think it's actually possible, but let's, just to be safe, let's do this proper. Having my expendables up front. And make this as difficult as possible for him. Now, I could always tighten the cage. That's probably best, since they don't quite have stunty. Only exception would be Krosa, in all honesty, since Prehensile Tail is basically a built-in extra player. So that works a little bit better. Oh wait, I don't want to put you in there. Where's my expendable source? Expendable as in the least SPP. Still, this has been a messed up game. A lot of it was my own undoing, at least in the first half, but I like to think it came around in the second half. But a lot of the potential tie could have been avoided, I feel like. Snow Patrol, so they get a high kick. Which they chose to just pass to have someone try and pick it up, huh? Ooh, I'm dodging a bullet there, because that was very damn scary. Yep, there's our poor Pog getting shot down. Pog, or is it Pwog? I don't know. Oh, my opponent apparently disconnected. Bad time for a disconnect, since we'll be waiting a few moments, but I think this game's decided nonetheless. I didn't even realize how many players they had. I probably could have done a serious lineup here. Since how the one-turn touchdown is supposed to work, to be honest, I'm not quite skilled enough to really comment to give you an accurate example, but it involves a lot of chain pushing, kind of like how you saw my skink, where I tried to push my skink that little bit closer. And if I want to try and do a one-turn touchdown, it would have involved me pushing my skink forward about 4 spaces, I think. at least in my current state. Whereas, because these Norse players are so much slower, 2 movements slower, they would need to somehow push me 6 spaces, and they only have 6 players. So, I could have done a serious lineup just to protect my guys that much more. But, Nuffle has kind of graced me there with these final few turns, I suppose. It feels like it anyway. The very last one especially, since my opponent tried to do a pickup on the ball, as opposed to actually bashing me and leaving me open for that prime opportunity to dash right in there. Oh, they managed to make it back. The pain might still ensue. So let us mourn these poor little skinks. The Hexel, the Ankle Biter, and Pog the Swift. They're the fresh blood. This is like their second game in, but they still got no experience to call their own, so they are kind of fodder. They are my tribute to my opponent for a really damn tense game. Now, Oratul, can you hang in there? Yep, you are still standing. No, now they're just being a dick. Because they don't get any experience for that foul after all. Even if it was an injury. So that was just someone being bitter, if I were to be honest. Oh god, what a game. I like to think I'm improving. Because I probably would not have thought of that skink push play beforehand. And we get a coach level up. I'm not quite level 20 yet, which is the max coach level. Well, I don't think 1's going to do it. Let's reroll that. There! That is the opposite of a bad roll. But since now that I'm at 170,000 in my treasury, I need to start spending some of this. Otherwise, it's going to inflate my points even more. Ooh, Pog the Swift. Gets MVP. We don't quite get a level up, sadly. But we do get a lot of experience, just because, again, my opponent is really damn fragile. So there were bound to be a lot of knockouts, if not injuries, in general. And it showed. And Kungwa, how close are you to leveling? Because you're getting a lot of experience, because I'm kind of relying on you, aren't I? Since you are kind of the most reliable, and there's what I'm afraid of. 1,320 team value. My points are skyrocketing. Especially with me about to buy a team reroll at that. So that's going to inflate my points to 1,380. I'm not ready for this. I don't think I'm ready for it anyway. But I do have a full roster. With Goratzel back, but suffering a little bit of movement injury penalty. So he's kind of going to be my frontliner, I think, from here on out. Let's just hope he doesn't suffer too many serious injuries, but hell. Let me confirm this now. We got our third reroll. We're about to break 1,400 points. Which means we're going to be fighting more tougher opponents, or I'm just going to be giving my adversaries more petty cash to buy. Which thankfully, their chainsaw guy didn't really do anything. But at the same time, they didn't really need Bloodwiser babes. They had really good roles to deal with their knocked out players. But otherwise, what a match. Good God. I'm going to have to really look at the first half because I definitely messed up on a lot of fronts. Got a little too aggressive and bad positioning, but the second half, I think, made up for it to an extent. It goes without saying. Thank you everyone for tuning in there. My undefeated streak still continues. Miraculously. Somehow. Don't ask me how that happened.